Hey guys, how's it going? RedMaster here, and welcome back to Episode Cards and Castles, a TV commentary. We've got some good matches lined up for you today, so I don't want to hold you here any longer. Let's go ahead and take a look at match number 1 and see what that match has to offer for us today. Alright, match number one, sees Vicious taking on Keith. I don't know if his last letter got cut off there, but so I'm just going to go with Keith for now without getting too weird. So Keith taking on Vicious, a little bit of green-yellow taking on blue-red. Maybe seeing some school out of Keith, but really more interested on Vicious's end, because I know he likes to pop in with the blue-red dragons, fancies himself a little racket off action here. It might be the case. I mean, we're seeing Dragon Knight, Drake Dance, so that very well could be the case, but we'll just have to see here. He starts off strong with the Lumberjack here. Keith going to go into the Coin Elvish Thief to start off his game. Quite aggressive. I mean, honestly, I would have held that, because, you know, Pirates have this nice little thing with Elvish Thief where they can surprise the Lumberjack. If people get too aggressive, push the Lumberjack in. Elvish Thief can really punish that Lumberjack, hit it, get the ramp, and stay alive to generate more. So, not really, I think, the wisest ideas of springing that trap and getting the Thief out early when you could have definitely maybe lured in Vicious to move his Lumberjack in and then pop it with Elvish Thief. Meanwhile, you also keep that metal going into the rest of the game. So, I don't know. That's probably a little risky here, but we'll see how Vicious responds here. He's going to go with a Lumberjack play, followed up with a Drake Dance to clear out this Elvish Thief. So quite a commitment there, putting 3 cards into 1, getting back some thanks to Lumberjack draws. But interesting, he didn't want to deal with that Elvish Thief. His hand could have, well, I think that was an okay play. Not really loving it too much, but still. We'll see Southport now from Keith with his extra ramp. Looks like that'll be pushed back thanks to Fear. Meanwhile, these guards going to come up and probably do some little aggro work, little, you know, just get in your face kind of thing, which is cool. Keith brings out the second Southport Captain now, so really just keeping on this ramp trend, bringing at least 2 gold with him into the next turn, it looks like. Vicious will set up an armory, although Keith on turn 4 brings out the Southport Cannoneer, so that extra ramp now being put to use, bringing out the big boy Cannoneer here. We do have an option now if we want to go into... Okay, yeah, we'll do it with the Blacksmith. We could have gone with the Bard, but I think we want to go Blacksmith because we don't really want to afford the upkeep right about now, so... Blacksmith is going to be the right call here. We're going to probably see 1 trade with the Captain. Yep, there goes 1. Other one gets held back, not going in for face damage because I think he doesn't want to risk losing it to the Cannoneer. He will lose it anyway, unfortunately. This Southport does pop a Dwarven Scope here, and this is quite a dangerous combination for a deck to be looking at here. Any sort of big range with the Cannoneer, or any sort of big range with the Scope like Cannoneer can get a little dangerous, so... we'll see what Vicious does here. He does have Rat King now in hand. Maybe Mystic Rat can do a bit of cleanup work, but we're not seeing the Mystic Journey in hand yet. So, I don't know how he's going to get out of this one just yet. Cannoneer does pop that Dragon Knight for free, thanks to that, you know, again, extra range here. Daggerstorm hits the board. Hitting 2 on the Drake, 1 on the Blacksmith. I think he wanted more or less 2 on the Blacksmith, but hey, I guess he'll still take 1 on the Blacksmith, you know, might as well. Fat Bard comes down, Drake comes down. Well, actually, no, Drake does the cleanup, Rat King comes out. Okay, so I think here's where Vicious' strategy to deal with this range unit comes into play here. You're going to see all these rats now. Hopefully those are going to make a giant push forward eventually to try and, you know, just pressure the Southport Cannoneer to retreat or hold back. We'll see if that plan comes to fruition here. Keith knows his stuff, though. Goes for the Rat King elimination. Prevents any sort of Mystic Journey play from popping on the board here. That's a good little heads up. And fires Vault with the Cannon Barrage as well. Not really seeing that too often, are we? So good to see that card make an appearance. Doesn't really do much, though, here. Cannoneer pops the... Okay, pops another 5 on Castle. Frog Prince making a debut as well. Huh. I don't know if I would have kept the Temple alive. I guess maybe if I did keep the Temple alive, I would have lost Cannoneer to these 2 rats. But this is dangerous. This is certainly dangerous territory for Keith here. Because, I mean, we're going to see a lot of these rats push up, followed up by a Rat King. So now a lot of rats on the board, able to do a lot of damage thanks to these 4 globals in Vicious's back row here. If he had a Mystic Journey, that would clean up the game right now, but obviously we don't have that. So now we're just going to push up a bunch of swarm units here, the Rat King, the guards, etc. Hoping to kind of push against the Cannoneer, and since there's no chain in green-yellow, he can of course take these out, he can of course push without sort of a big chain fear. As you can see here, he's going to go for some, Cannoneer shot, Frog Prince hit, Southport trade. Just cleaning up a lot of rats to the best of his ability here, but obviously not going to do a whole lot. I mean, without Mordock, because I think that's the card's going to come down here. Mordock hits this Frog Prince. You have another body to engage with the Cannoneer here. If he didn't have Mordock, I think Vicious would be, in a bit more trouble here. Some of his back row gets removed here, and his Swarm can't reach the big threat that is Cannoneer, but, he has Mordock, so that should be fine. Otherwise, that was kind of a good sort of attempt at cleaning up by Keith. Although, obviously, it's just too many bodies on the board to really make a huge impact. So we're going to see, yep, that Mordock come onto the board. Connects to the Frog Prince. That will, of course, generate a unit here, taking out the Frog Prince as well, thanks to that late chain activation. 4 goes to the Cannoneer, finishing it off, and, of course, some more rats doing their job here, providing castle damage. And, yeah, everything just moving up here, and it's now going to be a bit difficult, I think, for Keith to come out of this matchup with a win. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but it's very difficult, I think, for him at this point here. We'll see Dread Pirate that's going to interact with one of those rats there. Trade, mind you. Again, that's just how powerful these rats have become at the moment. Brings out the Dramoth, which is a cool sight to see. However, how much it will be doing, I am not entirely sure. Yeah, okay, second temple hits the board. I think this is probably going to be where the game ends, and the Blacksmith, that's the follow-up here. So now, again, a lot of, globals on these rats, taking out too much damage. Yep, going for additional 3 there. 3 here. I think that just ends the game, right? Because then, yeah, Drake can come in and push for the remainder. So, Oviciouz does take the win. Oviciouz. I didn't think I ended the recording, yeah, a bit earlier there. But, Vicious, you do get the win there, my friend. I'm sorry I didn't get your pop-up, but, I think we know that you won. I mean, hell, the connection is... Oh, well, there it is. Interesting. I don't know. I guess the video just wanted to stop at some point. But, hey, Vicious, good job for taking the win against the green-yellow. Impressive plays to get rid of that Cannoneer. And, yeah, very nicely done. So, that being said, I think that will be match number 1 covered. Let's go ahead and move on to match number 2 and see what that one's got for us. Alright, and match number 2. Bit of a long one here. Sees layfob taking on Wazz. So, a bit of red-yellow going up against the yellow druid. Now, honestly, I will say, for people who haven't really tried out yellow, white, or the Crusader Druids yet, definitely take a look at that one, because that deck's making some interesting movements on the ladder in competitive play lately. So, I don't know. I mean, the yellow Zoo already proving some dominance here, but hey, I know one of them's got to 3,600, and he'll probably speak up now that I've called him out in a way. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what the yellow white brings to the table here. So let's go ahead and jump into the match, especially up against colors known for direct damage, big burn. We'll see what they can do as we jump into the game here. Okay, so not a bad start for our yellow druid player here. Inspire. Okay, so if we're going the Salahar draw, going for the Inspire, so picking up 2 Guardians, which is fine, not the best, but that's, I guess, fine. We'll see layfob coin out into a Flying Books. Okay, looking for some draw ideally, and this prompts Wazz to bring out at least one of those 2 Guardians he's got in hand to body block. I think that will be, of course, trading with the books. Yep, go ahead and see that trade right there. Then he brings out the second Flying Books. Okay, so looking obviously for more draw. We'll see if the second Guardian comes out. It does. Okay, very nice. Followed by the Salahar Rider, which doesn't go in for a block to the Guardian. Instead, of course, being played off to the side here. Although, interesting enough, we're going to see layfob go ahead and push the books up. You don't really... Okay, hold on. Pause. Huh. Normally, I would expect a trade to happen here with the books, because, I mean, it's against the Guardian here. You know, it's the same trade that happened last time. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he held the books back. Obviously, unless this was Red Yellow Awaken, which kind of seems unlikely, because now we're throwing Banshee into the mix here. Not sure why we wouldn't go for that Guardian trade. I mean, it's free after all. It's basically, you got the draw off of books. You might as well put it into the Guardian before it gets bigger. Because obviously these colors, known for a lot of global buff presences, things like Armory, which we do see in the hand, and Fat Bard as well. So I think it's a bit risky leaving the Guardian to do its own thing here rather than just trading in. But hey, that's just my 2 cents on the matter here. Moving on, though, we do see Wazz bring out the Beastmaster. That does bring out the, okay, high roll, 2 big bears. Very nice, very nice. We'll see if layfob's got the removal for that. Looks like he doesn't in hand yet. Instead, goes for the Andrew. Bit of an interesting play here. Decides to hold the Banshee back rather than generating or, putting it into this top bear. Kind of foreshadows that he might have removal for the Beastmaster if he's leaving the bear to do its own thing here. It can't really reach anything at this point, so I guess that's fine, but this does give a platform for companions. So again, a bit risky leaving that just on the board doing its own thing here. But we will see Armory go down, okay. Plus the reinforce onto, okay, Castle. One might have assumed reinforce might have been put onto the Armory. That could do some funny stuff there, honestly. But hey, Blue Fire, looks like it hits the board, does remove the Beastmaster, so layfob did have some kind of, answer to that. Hence, I guess, why he didn't put the Banshee into the bear when given the opportunity. Which is fair. Fair. Going into a call for aid now is Wazz, following up on his turn 7, followed by the Priest. Okay, so creating that global buff presence, which I mentioned that the actually not the red yellow, the white yellow is certainly capable of creating here. Honestly, we got to see that here with the armory going up to 4, castles already up to 23 here. Units are getting stronger, and the more they're left alone, the more dangerous they become. So I think layfob does need to make a little bit of a push in a way. I don't want him to commit too much because obviously a lot of what's in Wazz's hand right now could actually punish a push severely, more notably Craxus than anything else. So we'll see what he does here. He does push up the 1 Banshee a little too far into enemy territory, in my opinion. I think it is going to prompt the Craxus to come out, right? Maybe. Okay, Companion. Oh, okay, so now we're going to see Centaurs. So we're going to see Centaur's going to go ahead and go to work here, taking out the Andrew, so that way these last units can die without giving Andrew any sort of buffs here. Yep, we're going to see the Rider go into the Banshee. Guardian connects with the top Banshee. Okay, that'll give him some spells. And of course, that does mean the Darkbender does get a little bit weakened, unfortunately, which isn't really what layfob wanted here. Dragon's Fire hits the board here. That does some okay work. Lumberjack, of course, getting rid of the Guardian to kind of clear Wazz's board of units here, keeping the Darkbender in the back. Alright, nice use of the Dragon's Fire. Of course, taking out a lot with that, actually. We'll see how Wazz responds, going for the Ranger Cleric play. Okay. We'll see if maybe we can't get a buff on that Darkbender. Okay, yep, there it is. Drain Life. That will, of course, buff the Darkbender just enough to kill the Cleric. Kind of curious as to why play the Drain Life onto the Cleric if we're going to remove it with the Darkbender, because obviously the stat buff from the Bender is enough to just kind of take out the Cleric without having to waste the Drain Life burn aspect on it. So I think that was a bit of a misplay there. It could have gone on the Castle or maybe that Armory to get a weaken for a Flamestorm, in my opinion. As we can see, he did have the answer for Ranger with the pacifism, so I probably would have liked to see that Drain Life go somewhere else, preferably. Tarius Faust hit the board. Okay, seems fine. Let's get the Horseman to hand here. We'll see what that comes out or not. We do see Frog Prince instead, followed up with a Paladin. Okay, so a lot of Knights in this deck, actually, than what I'm looking at it here. Frog Prince, Paladin, Horseman, all Knights, so maybe more of a yellow Druid or yellow-white or Crusader Druid Knight deck, which is curious. I feel like I keep calling the factions just flip-flopping. I call one of them the color and the other the faction. So Luminars is the board now for Wazz. That's going to do a great amount of cleanup here. Going to go ahead and take it out the Tarius Files, the Lumberjack, the Vicious Sunflower here. Kind of negates all of what the General would have done, but of course generally gets picked off without delivering the last will. layfob does keep his Darkbender, which I think is the important aspect here. He does get rid of the Paladin. Okay, he fears back the Frog Prince. Unfortunately, it looks like he didn't have an answer for that, unless maybe he didn't want to put anything else into it. Second Darkbender hits the board, followed up by the second Andrew. Okay, so last will going to try and start getting its feet rolling again. Horseman comes out, does connect with the 6-1 Darkbender, unfortunately. So there goes one of the two ranged units on layfob's side. Followed up with the Wizard, does Wazz. So kind of creating some small global presences here. And yeah, there's the Flamestorm. So kind of, prompts the question where, again, Drain Life on the Armory I think would have been much better in that case. Because by now, the Armory would have been taken out with the assist of that Flamestorm, and things might have been on a more even ground. Hell, you might have put this Ranger at like -1, which is, again, pretty big. When especially, it takes 2 global buffs to put Ranger back to where he once was. And even then, it's just 1 attack. Sudden Death kicks in now as the Wizard goes for the trade of the Darkbender. Okay, Craxus hitting the board as well as the follow-up. Not bad. That's going to definitely, I think, scare the Mordock off a little bit if he doesn't have any sort of wide removal options, right? Okay, Tari's Foul setting up for a Flamestorm maybe. Fear, okay, maybe digging for the Flamestorm. Come on. Okay, Treasure Hunt. Using some spells, I guess, from the Banshee. Follow up with the Lumberjack. Okay, so Wazz does get to keep that Kraxus on the board here, and he can follow up the second one if he wants to. Goes to the Beastmaster play instead, okay. Seems fine there. Bear enough to take out that bottom Andrew. Following up with another Ranger as well, getting some beef on the board here. And this is what, you know, Yellow-White likes to do. Create big beef on the board. That Mordok can get rid of the Armory, though. And, of course, looks like he is going to. Oh, or not. Okay, so... interesting that the Banshee goes ahead and goes for Castle rather than, you know, taking out the Armory, preventing some globals. But I guess, you know, you're on sudden death here, and, you know, if your deck does have a bit of a burn focus to it, we could hope to remove some of the castle health with burn. So, when you get it weaker, that's something that you want to do. Hands of the Saint being played. Okay, so some good heals. We'll see if that lasts long. I don't think so, unfortunately, just due to how much beef is on Wazz's side of the board here. Yep, Bear going to deliver the blow to the Lumberjack. The Ranger takes another chunk of 8. Beastmaster doing some work too. All good, some good things here from Wazz's deck here. I assume the Wraith is going to connect to the Banshee maybe, or we don't actually need it. We have Lumberjack. Never mind. Lumberjack goes in, gives Wraith more movement to be aggressive, push up. Fantastic stuff here. And yeah, this is not looking good for layfob here. We'll see if he's got an option or an answer. Excuse me. Dragon's Fire could do some fun stuff here on the board. Yep. Okay, there it is. Removes a lot of what's currently pestering layfob here, and although not the big target, that is Kraxus. So that's another Tarius and passes back. Okay. How does Wazz respond here? Looks like he's going to go for the Dancing Swords play. And then following with another Dancing Sword. I guess this is fine. You don't want to reveal the globals just yet, because I think that's what's actually going to end this game in Wazz's mind. So, hope he can maybe keep his Armory and then throw down Blacksmith Armory to kind of end off the game if he can. So he'll push his Wraith up, and you can see the Kraxus Wraith being a bit more aggressive to take out the Tarius Files over here. I actually hit the rewind, so we're going to let that sequence finish out here. Shield Runner Berserk going to the hand. I think layfob needs some big burn stuff to happen in this turn. Can he deal 10 damage worth of burn from the hand? Blue Fired Armory, not the best start to do it. Molten Pillar, okay, yeah, it doesn't have the answer here, so I think this might be the game. Yeah, because Wraith takes out the Tarius Files, and then Dancing Sword pushes up for the remainder of the damage. I'm going to see how's he going to play it out. Okay, Armory to get the buff down. I think he's just going to flex at this point. Yep, Priest. Wraith connects to the Tarius Files, and then, of course, yep, Swords moves in, right? Don't draw with Kraxus. Perfect. Lovely stuff. Alright, so, with that being said, yep, Yellow Druid does take the matchup here, and that's what I mean. You can't sleep on the Yellow-White, the Druid Crusader as much anymore. People are kind of picking up on the fact that if you kind of produce a lot of global outputs, it's kind of hard to deal with. So, don't be surprised if maybe you can't see a couple more of those spring up in the near future, because they do wonders at, you know, counteracting some of the common stuff that you see on the, you know, on the rank ladder. Has the companion reach for things like School and Dojo in those decks. Has, you know, the big beef to withstand Mystic Rat Assaults. It has a lot. It has a lot to it, so. But with that being said, Wazz does take the match, so overall, great job to him. Let's go ahead and move into match number 3 now. We do have one more match to go ahead and get to, so let's see what that one's got in store for us. Alright, and match number 3 sees Hamad take it on Noobalicious here. So a bit of Viking Pirate going up against Ninja Crusader. I almost said Druid. That is Crusader. Good to see some Ninja Crusader on the TV. You don't really see a lot of that faction combination in the game, so we'll see what it can do here. Let's go ahead and jump into the matchup, though, as we, of course, have to see what goes down to actually get an idea of what is in this deck here. And already we're seeing a couple of range shenanigans here. Cultist, Tarius in the hand here, along with Questing Knight Bucks. Ooh, is this an all-foiled faction? Nope, Dragon Crash Shield isn't foiled. You almost gave me hope that this is an all-foiled deck, but unfortunately, you didn't flex that on us. So, looks like Questing Knight starts off the game here. Hovel as well from Hamad. A coined out Hovel, might I add here. Okay. We go for the Dragon Crush Shield. Good counteraction to the Rat Hovel. If, you know, the Rats are going to try and trade into it here, at least he'll get some cards off of it. Cloak of Ice, though, hits the board. Okay, that'll freeze off the Questing Knight, making the Dragon Crush Shield a little useless at the moment. He can, of course, free the Questing Knight, hopefully, but that is going to be something that takes a little while. Of course, Cultist being played, not in the best position to take out the rat. Alright. Hamad will follow up with the armor, okay, making his rats a little stronger now. So this could be a Mystic Rat deck from Hamad. Not exactly sure of that at the moment, but looks like Noobalicious is going to go ahead and play the RedMaster Tarius. That should get him some additional card draw, which is great for these colors. Of course, Serpent Witch has the board now. Okay, so try and remove the Questing Knight here, although it does give him, that is Noob. He'll give him 2 cards thanks to that Dragon Crush Shield. Pulls off another Tarius off of that. That's nice. And then, yeah, just a lot of card draw, at least from Noobalicious in this. Alright, seems fine. Cultist grabs a Shifting Technique. That will grab him a Battle Ready. Ooh, alright. I think he likes to see that going on the Tarius. Yep, seemed like the smart idea there. Playing a books as well. Just generating some more cards here. And I think Hamad definitely start getting a little aggressive if he wants to kind of keep up with this game. We'll see Southport hit the board here. That takes out the Dwarven Miner. Okay. Of course, the rat's getting into position as well here. Cloak of Ice being kept in the back as well. You notice it's not kind of being put up to where range can remove it here, because that Cloak of Ice is pretty valuable at the moment here. Cultist removes the Captain, generating a minor upgrade. So a lot of minor spells being, you know, created from this deck, it looks like, or it looks like it's going to be for the rest of this game here. Fat Bar hitting the board after flying, Faithful Drake, excuse me. Faithful and Dwarven Miner hit the board. Okay, Chain Lightning, Lightning Blade hitting the board here. Not really impactful in my opinion. Sure, it takes out a lot of the front row here, but I think you really miss out on a strong opportunity with the Lightning Blade. It could do a lot of cleanup work, especially against, you know, some of these big range units that are in the back here. If you force him to, like, huddle up with something like a Freezing Pillar and, you know, just get the units to position themselves correctly, it does, you know, Lightning Blade does wonders. It really does, but, I don't think that was the best use of the blade in this scenario. But anyway, moving on. We'll see what Noobalicious has to respond to a lot of what Hamad is doing. He's starting to get a little aggressive here with the Serpent Witch, so we'll see if maybe he decides to put an end to that with the Cultist. Minor upgrade to... Yep, okay, so this Cultist just generating a lot of value, it looks like, for Noob. Lumberjack being played up as well. Things are moving forward. Things are getting a little aggressive here. Priest as well. Yep, nice. Creating some big beef all around here, and of course decks that do that sometimes end up being on top, so we'll see if that's the case here. Winds of Nord coming out. Alright, maybe a Windy Hooks deck from Hamad, not exactly sure, but in a prime position to set up that Cloak of Ice there. Alright, very nice. Gets everything kind of packed together a little bit here. Maybe see if he can generate a second Lightning Blade. E-Strike, though, from the RedMaster does come out and hit the board. Does get rid of both the... Okay, 2 rats. One of them had the Cloak of Ice, so that was, I think, some great connections for Hamad, excuse me, here. As he continues to put a little bit of the beatdown on Hamad and Noob's deck a little bit. I keep mixing up the names here. Followed up by the Yenaroth. That's pretty big. Big Freeze hits the board, kills off the Priest, and then throws it back to Noob. Noob has some answers, though, in hand. We'll see if he has to play any of those. I think Eater definitely going to be the card that comes out. Nope, okay. Books Icon. Okay, Books Icon going to be the way to do. That's fine. That's fine, too. I think... Actually, does Magic Eater work? No, yeah, it does. You would have gotten them... Yeah. No, Magic Eater could have worked, but I guess you wanted the draw. You wanted to protect Eater. Because right now, a lot of good chains set up over here, so maybe that's why he wanted to keep Eater back here. But it looks like Hamad will throw down a trap. Ludicrous Windy Hooks. Okay, so yeah, or not Windy, Rusty Hooks, excuse me. But yeah, definitely a Windy Hooks deck if I ever saw one at that point. Well, I don't really think this match is going to go well for Hamad anytime soon. A lot of cards in the hand of Noob, and just an overall better board presence, I think, in this matchup. Yep, Trigger the Might of the Minotaur on that rat. Hovel number 1 gets taken out. I don't know if that was 1 or 2. I think that was 2, but 1 Hovel gets taken out. Of course, it does leave Eater to pop out, or at least a second Eater popping out. Church hits the board. Questioning that as well. Yep, just following up with some, you know, big beef on the board here. I'm not sure if Hamad has the opportunity to respond to this, right? Hooks goes to the Lumberjack. Yep, Jack is coming out on his side as well. I think this is going to be it for Hamad. There's just not a whole lot that his deck can do, especially at this low of resources. Unfortunately, this is the problem why Windy Hooks is struggling, I think, in the past few formats. It honestly has become a deck that it runs out of resources fast, and when it does do that, especially in blue-green, it becomes harder for the deck to function and harder for the deck to operate, especially if, you know, your opponent has a hand like the size of Noob's here, where you can just pop out new resources continually and really just keep Hamad sort of pushed down to where he can't do a whole lot. Journey's a fun pickup, although I don't really think that actually plays into this deck at all, funny enough. See if Hamad's got anything else. Warrior, okay, taking out a little bit of the Magic Eater. And actually he can't actually take it out with those 3 cards. Yikes. Okay, so I think that's definitely going to be the end of the game here. A few minor spells being played, and that can get the Eaters buffed enough to really just connect to the castle. Actually, he doesn't even need a buff. Damn. Never mind. You can just do it all in a single turn without any cards played. And with that, Noobalicious takes the win. The Purple Crusaders does some good things here. Very nice matchup. A lot of interesting cultists and interesting range stuff in general, I might say. A lot of the value, I think, in that matchup came from shifting technique. And, of course, buffing that cultist up to a ridiculous level. I think it all just worked out very nice for Noob in this matchup. So with that being said, congrats again for taking that win. But that is all the match we have for today, so let's go ahead and move out to close this video. Alright folks, and with that being said, it is going to end off our TV commentary matchup for the day. So if you guys did enjoy the matchups, let me know by leaving your thoughts down in the comment section below. And right down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It helps show you support the channel. Help us grow by clicking that subscribe button. And yeah, with that being said, that's going to do it for me for now. So until next time, stay gaming.